Hello, this is Al Hernandez from Group 2, and I'm ready to comment about our readings for Week 3 of the class. Our group was asked to respond to a question about the nature of environmental injustice in agriculture according to White in the Camacho text. White talks about two significant issues that impact people who work in the agricultural industry, specifically farm workers in the United States. One was their exposure to pesticides, and two was their exposure to dangerous work conditions. Since an overwhelming majority of U.S. farm workers are low-income Latinos and African Americans, these conditions have a disparate impact on people from these ethnic groups. White states on page 65 that more than 300,000 U.S. farm workers suffer from pesticide-related illnesses each year. White added that agriculture is the third most dangerous occupation according to the National Safety Council. In fact, news reports I found show that 16 farm workers in California have died from heat-related illnesses since 2005. The increasingly hot summers are yet another reason this industry is so dangerous for its workers. Sitting on California Governor Jerry Brown's desk right now for his signature is the Farm Worker Safety Act, which will allow the estimated 400,000 workers who pick fruits and vegetables in California to sue employers who repeatedly fail to comply with mandatory requirements for shade and drinking water. While farm worker safety is only one of many environmental justice issues facing people of color and the poor, it presents an additional challenge to those seeking to address it, and that is that a majority of these workers are immigrants with limited English language skills. This complicates everything from safety training to management engagement. The second question for our group was related to the connections Bookchin made between environmental sustainability and the most radical movements. I think he seeks to make a link between the sensual aspects of the utopian radical philosophy and the ecological society he envisions. I was struck by his featuring of libertarian philosophy as part of the mix for his desired state, given that earlier in the reading he speaks of concerns that individualism leads to egotism and domination. I have to admit that Bookchin's writings covered a lot of ground, but I think the strongest connection he made was a link between the imagination needed to envision a utopian world, which he begins to describe on page 325, and the imagination needed to envision the ecological society that he begins to describe in detail on page 343. I'm very interested to see if others also felt that imagination, or better said, the freedom to imagine, was the clearest connection Bookchin made. So I look forward to hearing from others this week.